Right. So we are going to talk a little bit about, right now, about the VDR, aren't we?
Good. Let's go.
Yes? We are starting. You want to stand, really? Okay, cool. What is the VDR? Let me start with that question to you.
Well, the VDR is the network, the business travel network in Germany. We have also connections across borders. We are a member of the European travel community, or of the travel community as well. We founded the BT for Europe organization some years ago. We have a strong voice to the politics or to the authorities here, and this is exactly what is our role. We are taking care for all the demand, for all the requests coming out of the industry in regard to business travel.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we just now heard from Doreen about her demands maybe for the European regulations on our airports, particularly maybe here in Germany. Is the VDR, are we doing something there as well, that we are supporting the voice of the industry, and how do we go about that?
Definitely, because I mean, this is what also is a little bit unique. Even if we are an association which is taking care for the requests of the buyers, also suppliers are member on our side, because they are also buyers at a certain point in time.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe one big difference, as you see, I think everybody who is here today is on a business trip. You're not here on a leisure trip. So maybe this is a big difference, and maybe you see also what's the high demand behind this. And there is tons of rules, regulations to the corporations you have to fulfill, duty of care. When you are from abroad, you need to have all the documentation. I mean, getting in and out of Germany is easy unless you have the A1 certificate. Coming to Germany is not a big deal because nobody is carrying here in Germany. But if you go out of Germany somewhere else, you need to carry this.
Yes.
And this is just one thing. Yeah? And there are some regulations which affect the suppliers negatively. And when they are affected negatively, means they have high costs. Yeah? They will pass it on, finally, to the buyers.
Yes.
Yeah? So there is, on one hand, an interest to reduce costs. This is one thing. And the second thing is processes. Yeah? Because, I mean, let's stay within the EU, for example. For me, the idea of an EU would be also to have easy traveling within our borders. Yeah, that it's not too complex. Yeah? But having a European Union which makes traveling complex, I think it's going a little bit in the wrong direction. This is exactly where we raise our voice to make things easier, to have at the end a seamless, a smooth process, because we are dealing not with packages, with boxes and stuff. We are dealing with humans. We are connecting people. That's
Yes.
what we do. Yeah.
We are not purchasing pencils. I used to say that a lot when I was at BCD.
Right.
But we have really jumped into the deep end, and we are, of course, here at ITB, which is known maybe for its leisure focus and not so much for the business travel industry. And we are here, of course, representing business travel. What are the key differences? Why is the business travel sector so complex? What can you maybe tell us about that?
Mm-hmm. First of all, have you seen the audience?
I can't really. The lights are quite dazzling. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Didn't work.
No, but that's really interesting to see. So there is an interest in business travel. And again, of course, a lot of part here is about leisure travel. But again, all people coming here are here for business travel.
True.
That's a business trip to come here. And what I mentioned, I mean, one really fundamental big difference is if you go on a leisure trip, it's all on you. Mm-hmm. You decide. Every failure you make, it's your decision. But if your company, you have to deal with it. But if your company sends you on a business trip, also your expectation as an employee is that the company takes care of a lot of stuff, which they do on one hand, but on the other hand also there are a lot of legal obligations you have to fulfill. Yeah, we are talking about the end-to-end process. Yeah? And I mean, I could ask now who is on a business trip, but a very simple question: who already is really excited to do the expense report after returning? Yeah, so everybody knows already what we are talking about. Yeah. Getting all these expenses, at the end it's also costs for the company. Yeah? So there is a balance. On one hand, it's costs. On the other hand, is it investment in the business, and you have to get control of it and leave at least set some guardrails where people know, travelers know, this is the area I can deal with, yeah? And make it at the end of the day as smooth as possible. Because if it's too complex, I mean, everybody is laughing, yeah? But if you're sitting there and you get your expense report is rejected because some tiny little bullshit which you don't have fulfilled, but it's for tax reasons and might make sense, but make it easy and not painful. That is one of the big differences. And besides this, you need to ensure insurances. People need to be able to pay during a business trip. Yeah? Payment is a big topic.
Yes.
Not only in advance to pay for the tickets, also during a business trip. Yeah? At the moment, it's a traditional credit card. Yeah? This is one thing, but you see also a lot of new payment solutions popping up. Yeah? Virtual payment, and there are other things. How to integrate them also then finally in a corporate environment, because we are also dependent on an ERP landscape. So this also explains a little bit the role of a travel manager within a company. Yeah? You become, let's say, an interface manager or something like this.
Yes.
You really need to understand the whole end-to-end process, the whole chain behind that. And it's all about communication at the end of the day, because if you do not communicate well to your population, to your travel community, you run in trouble.
Yes, I can imagine that. We are going to hear in a little while more about the regulatory process, so I will not bug you with the A1 form yet again. But before, I know, when you were talking with Doreen, you already prompted her on sustainability and on artificial intelligence. What are some of the other trends that you yourself see as trends emerging in the business travel sector during this year, or maybe even further afield?
I mean, at the moment, all colleagues I talk to are interested in their processes.
Right.
Yeah, process technology plays a big role. Yeah, and I remember when online booking engines were introduced early 2000. Yeah, everybody says, "Hey, now travel will be super easy. Travel management companies will totally disappear because you simply don't use it." And it's the other way around. It was getting more complex, and also, I mean, Doreen said, "Okay, so you have all the ancillary fees. You only pay for what you really need, but the process is way more difficult than before, because before you knew you book a seat and you can take your bag, and now it's not automatically that you have a bag. You have to choose the right rate that your bag is included, and if you want to have fast track, and so on. I mean, on one hand, I can understand, but as a company, you need to manage this. Yeah? So process efficiency is one of the big topics, yeah? Because there is a lot of costs behind all these processes. Yeah? The costs from the seat, from the hotel, is something which is not regulated, but it's extremely transparent, because the competition is extremely visible. Everyone has the online tools. You see exactly what you get. You don't need to ask a TMC like many years before, wait for the quote. Now with one click you have all the rates. You can decide. But we have, as a company, we have to give the guardrails. In what is the corridor, you can choose all the stuff. And also everybody is expecting from AI that there is a big influence to reduce the processes on one hand, but also making the whole, let's say, customer experience a little bit easier, as to get some added information. This is, I think, what keeps most of the colleagues busy at the moment.
That sounds quite a lot, and I don't think you were not busy before AI joined the list on your desk, on things to do or maybe think about on how to integrate them. But what role, and I've heard this a lot in conversations that I've had, is where does the content actually live? Where does it sit? So I've been having conversations with travel managers who might say, can we just circumvent the online booking engine and just go for an AI solution? And there seems to be maybe a lack of understanding or not quite being sure where does AI get their data from. So do we not, to be able to have the processes more simple or more streamlined, do we not need to have that communication, as you said before, in the background so that all the systems are talking together?
Of course, I mean, this is, the content question is also one thing, but this also shows a little bit the complexity of what we have to deal with. Yeah? At the end of the day, you need to have something which is easy to implement, because the ERP system in your company is the one which rules. Yeah? And if it doesn't fit, you run in trouble. Yeah? This is the big thing. And then you have, I mean, where the content sits, by the way, then you have also this GDPR discussion behind that.
Yes.
Yeah, data privacy plays a tremendous role in this area, and we all have to deal with it every day, because without personal data, you can't go on a trip.
No.
Very, very easy. Yeah? And one thing I forgot, by the way, was sustainability. Sustainability is a topic which everybody was talking about the last couple of years. Everybody's sustainable, we need to be sustainable. And it seems now it's not the super topic anymore, but it's still there. You still need to tackle this. The airline industry is way easier to tackle, yeah, because there are some, at least, measures in the meantime where you can deal with it. But for the hotel industry, there is no common standard. Right. Nobody, yeah, it's just the best guess. Yeah? And also, even if a hotel comes up and says, we're a super green hotel, maybe they are, yeah, but what's the calculation behind? Is there any proof? Is there any accepted certificate? Yeah? So these are tons of things we still have to manage.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because they are still there. We need to provide a CSRD report every year, and we need to provide this data. And another thing comes on top. In the meantime, it's not only, let's say, the pure business travel topic anymore. Yeah? There is way more, because it's all about mobility now. Yeah? Parts are already responsible for a car fleet internally. And then you have some mobility solutions, where it's not the classical company car. Also, the commuting from your hometown to the office is already part of the whole area, because as the companies have this obligation with the the CR reports, also the commuting to and back from the office is part of it. So you must have data about it. So of course, companies are interested to provide any mean of business which reduces the carbon footprint. Yeah.
Right. I think would you like to stay for another hour? I'm not sure the audience, but never mind. I had to pay you back for the earlier one. Yeah. No, it was lovely to talk to you. I am going to suggest that we are done. Is that all right with you? Or did I ask you anything that you were burning to let off your chest in this round?
Well, I think and I hope this was also something which was the outcome, that the complexity, and you mentioned this earlier, the complexity of what we are dealing with is really is something which should not be underestimated. Very often within the companies, there is a feeling, well, dealing with travel is something fun. Yeah, I mean, in general, traveling should be fun, and in best case, your job is fun. Yeah, but it's really a complex process behind. There are tons of stuff you have to fulfill, obligations for tax, for legal reasons, and at the end, everybody's talking about customer centricity or employer satisfaction, all these things, and you play really a big role in this whole process chain.
Yeah, you're right in the middle, and you have to fulfill everybody's wishes. That's what
and you have to be quite relaxed in some areas, because there are some weird wishes. Let's say it like this.
I see. Well, Christoph, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest.
Thank you.
Bye.